in his honor, I will be using my abilities that he taught me and saying my parting words to him. So when we think of Alex, what do we think of? Well, he was my friend, my mentor, my boss, and most importantly, our president. He was a man of many blazers, master of toast. He forged our club from the ground up. But unfortunately, he has now become toast. Now you must be wondering, how did our beloved president pass away so abruptly over the weekend? Well, as VP, I've been looking through his stats, and it turns out he's completed every single advanced manual on the Toastmasters catalog, every single one. And I talked to him about this. I said, Alex, you completed every single advanced manual. What now? And he said, Tyler, there's nowhere else for me to go. There's no more manuals, no more speeches. I have no more purpose in life. And I thought he was joking when he told me over the other day, but I can't believe it. He had no more speeches, so he had no more reason to live. So he died. But Alex would have told us, don't dwell on the loss, but celebrate life and his achievements. So that's what we'll do today. We'll go over his past and what he's achieved since then. When Alex was just 10 years old, he was a very progressive boy. He didn't have much in his life, as you can see. He couldn't afford table legs for his desk or afford a shirt to wear on a daily basis. But with his creativity and resourcefulness, he made table legs with cinder blocks. He worked out to make up for the fact that he couldn't have a shirt on a daily basis. And all this training and creativity created the president we have today, or we had last week. If only his 10-year-old self could see what he'd become, he'd be very proud. But he just reached his goals too quickly. That was this moment. So we have a brief and broad perspective of who Alex was and became. But I felt it would be appropriate to also give my own personal story that I had with Alex. So Alex was a great mentor for me. When I first started at Toastmasters, I would have to print out my entire speech, 6 pages, 18 font, the entire speech, just so I could reference it every time I spoke. And I asked Alex, you speak with such confidence, no note cards, no nothing. How do you do it? He said, Tyler, just let the juices flow. Just speak from the heart. Let it just naturally flow out. I said, okay. And now I stand before you, 8th speech, no note cards, no printed out speech. And to this day, I still ask him for advice. And I'll never forget his last bit of tutelage, his last bit of words. His final strokes of the keyboard. I'll never forget this. But his abrupt death taught me that death is potent, and we'll never know when it's coming. That's what makes it so hard to swallow. We cannot take the lives that we cherish for granted, because before you know it, they can be taken away forever. So today, tomorrow, every day, cherish life. Because if Alex has taught me anything, is that a Toastmaster is always on time. So don't cherish lives when it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that heartfelt speech, Tyler. We all will never forget Alex. We'll keep him in our memory. He'll be alive there. Okay. So please take a minute and a half to fill out the feedback, pass it to the middle. So, on to the next portion of our meeting today. We have evaluations, which are the most important part of any Toastmaster meeting, because in order to come up here every single time and be a better speaker the next time you come up, you have to be told what you did really well and what you could do a little better next time. So, without further ado, we'll have our general evaluator, Dozal, to the stage.
Okay, so to start off, we're going to start off with Mary. And I just want to say congrats on your first speech. It takes a lot of guts to show up here and take initiative. I've done it, and you did really well. I felt like you were just at ease, and I was proud of you for taking that step and opening up and sharing us a little bit of who you are and the story about your teeth and that situation. And also, I've resonated with the with texting and how it's kind of taken away from communicating one-on-one or in social situations. As for Jeremiah, good job on a technical speech. Oh, there we go. I felt like you helped us learn something practical today, so I appreciate that. And Alex, funny speech, dude. I really liked it. At first, I didn't know what to expect. I was a little at ease, but I like that you put us kind of through like an emotional roller coaster, and it was funny, so I like that. And you killed it on the ballroom dance moves. Props to you for that. And that's about it for that. And as far as Tyler, initially, same kind of feeling. I was like feeling a little awkward or at unease, but you came through and you pulled it off. And at the end, I dearly sympathize for the passing of Alex. So that's as far as everybody, and so thank you.
Okay, so we are going to have individual evaluations now. So first up, we'll have Fahim evaluating Mary to the stage. So Fahim, Salewala, please.
Hello guys, evaluating Mary. Speech, my future. Congratulations on your first speech. Overall, I'd say it was quite good. My speech, on the other hand, not the best, but I'll tell you, for starters, yours was much better than mine, definitely. It had distinct body, the opening, and the ending. Put the order around, but that's just of it. That's what you need, at least for this speech, the requirements at least, and you were allowed to use the notes. I saw that you barely ever used it. That's pretty impressive feat, so I'm assuming you rehearsed it quite well before. Did you not?
Well, I did a little baby today, so, you know.
Yeah, so that was quite good. That was good rehearsals, so that was pretty good. You didn't look at them that much, so I felt like you had rehearsed it, you had enough practice. There were a few pauses here and there, but I feel like you kind of had it memorized, I feel like, but if you hadn't had it memorized and just flowed with it, it would have been much better, I feel like. Rather than having memorized, if you just have bullet points, something that you could look at and refer back to, you could just skim through it, look at it, refer through it, and just keep speaking with the main overall idea. A few questions. It says over here, was it adequately prepared? Yes, you were audible as well. Audible and clearly spoken, I feel like. That you had statistics which added on to your speech. You had consequences of like people texting, how they would result from the texting, deadless future where you can't talk to someone right in front of you. Like, hey Alex. Oh, hi. That's nice, man. Great lady. Scratch, scratch, awkwardness. Oh. See, it's all resultant of this texting age, I tell you guys. But yes, the opening where you start off with your past. And how it basically talked a lot about you, you know what I mean? Like, the icebreaker is supposed to speak about you and how you are today, you know? Like, it speaks a lot about you, and it's well done. And then you can tell with how your past has brought you into your present with your major regarding communications and what you're going to do with it for your future. So overall, all worked out quite well. It was a great speech, and one thing I'd tell you to work on is this. You were rocking a lot during your speech. When you rock a lot, it looks like you're not that confident in yourself. The best way to do that is just be firm in place, speak, or when you walk around, be more confident. Just walk around the stage rather than rock back and forth. That way you can own the ground or just still own it when you stand in place too. But overall, great speech. Thank you.
So next, evaluating our second prepared speech is Burnette evaluating Jeremiah. So please welcome him to the stage.
Enrique was not able to make it to the meeting today, so I'm substituting him in evaluating Jeremiah's speech. Disposable income, what do I do with it? He had two major objectives. First objective, did he use a systematic approach in organizing technical/specialized material into a concise presentation? His second objective, did he tailor a presentation to the audience's needs, interests, and knowledge level? I would say he did a great job with both of those objectives. At the beginning, you started off by stating what you wanted to say. You stated telling the basics of investments and discussing what disposable income is. And I think you did an overall good job with that. Now, I would say that at first I felt that you did rush at the beginning of your PowerPoint, and it could have made a couple of audience members lose track of all the different types of investments. But however, you did define your main message, and you did support it by using the PowerPoint itself. You allowed individuals, even if they felt lost while you were speaking, to have this visual representation as a guide to help them understand where they are in your speech. And with all of this, you did a great job with regards to your technical briefing. Your second part, analyzing your audience. I don't think many audience members here may know what a 401k is, a rental property. Well, they know what the rental property is, but the effects of having one, gold, certificate of deposit, treasury bonds or US treasuries, franchising, and you did, again, a great job explaining those specific parts, what each one does, what's the effects of having one, what you can do in order to benefit yourself by garnering disposable income from that. Now, I would say, again, there were parts of the speech where you assumed what the audience may know. You stated that audience members know what certificate deposits are. Some people may not, but that was kind of the point of your speech. You're supposed to explain what each and specific risk or / investment is supposed to do. Also, disposable income, I felt like you didn't really define it. There are different types of incomes, and I felt like you should have explicitly defined what that type of income is. Now, stating your objective, why did you give this speech? And you stated that well. It is to tell us what to do after college with all of this information in hand. And again, you did a great job with that. Now, your speech overall, you had great movement around the stage. You didn't just focus on one part. And I would say I would focus on not saying so many times during your speech. And you did say it was a boring speech, but I did not think that. So overall, great speech. I would limit the number of so's and just be confident. Thank you.
Okay, so for our third prepared speech, who was Alex, we have Nasir Wise evaluating. Please come to the stage.
So I'm evaluating Alex's speech. So his title is I'm Feeling a Little Feminine, and he had three objectives. It should be a humorous speech, and the humor should come from extreme exaggeration, and he should use body language and his voice vocal variety to enhance the speech. So I feel like he completed all three of them because the exaggeration of the dance moves over here. Those were very good, and it made the audience laugh a lot. And then that was using body language too. And then the vocal variety in the second story where you're went really high pitched, and then in the third story where you're screaming, and then you screaming, and then he got scared. And then what indicated the question was, what indicated that the audience was entertained? And I heard a lot of laughing, because I feel like the audience really liked the speech. And then, did the jokes and stories fit the theme of the speech? I feel like they fit them. The stories fit the speech really well, but but I feel like you could use a little work on the transitions between the stories. Like, they were okay, but weren't Alex Mathews level. The body language and vocal variety, it added a lot of impact to the story, to the speech. And then another improvement, the last one is your speech was great, but your speech was so funny that you were laughing at your own.